taxpayers' money spent on ads against this
television ads to successfully convince enough voters to vote no. Ken Griffin, the hedge fund billionaire who...
I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's funny. This video's at 421 likes.
moved his firm Citadel to Miami from Chicago in 2022, had also come out against legalization. Griffin, a Florida resident, donated $12 million to the Vote No on 3 campaign. And in an op-ed published in the Miami Herald, to the Vote No on 3 campaign. Griffin, a Florida resident, donated $12 million to the Vote No on 3 campaign.
$12 million to the Vote No on 3 campaign. So the Vote No on 3, you know they make everything catchy. Vote No on 3. Vote No on 3. Amendment 3 sucks. Make sure you run. They do some rhyming shit or whatever, but $12 million, a resident of Florida, this guy obviously got fat pockets to donate 12 million bags, but the point is, a lot of the people who actually consume and use flour for medical reasons, they're not the millionaires, they're not the billionaires, they're not those people. A lot of them are the people who cannot afford traditional medicine. They cannot afford going to the doctor and getting these drugs from the pharmacy that cost so much. So it's pretty interesting that a lot of these people are spending so much money against these ads to say vote no on 3, etc., 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 when it's probably just going to hurt the smaller, law-abiding, tax-paying citizen. Interesting point. Just something I'm just thinking about right now looking at this.
$12 million to the Vote No on 3 campaign. And in an op-ed published in the Miami Herald earlier this year, Griffin cautioned voters not to repeat the mistakes of states like California, Colorado, and New York, all of which have legalized recreational cannabis. Griffin wrote, quote,
"How you doing, Astro?
No one wants
Good
the
to
effects
see
of widespread legalization
Hopefully
of marijuana,
you're doing good. Have
skyrocketing
a good day.
crime, suffering among children, a decline in the quality of life in Florida's
Cinematic
vibrant neighborhoods,
premieres on
but Amendment 3 would make it inevitable."
upcoming
Now that's
posts.
something I literally disagree with. Like, yes, Colorado, California,
control.
New York, all
I see
blue
the
states all
side
have
notes.
legalized recreational cannabis, but there are also red states that have legalized recreational cannabis. And I personally don't think that recreational cannabis is tied to widespread skyrocketing in crime, suffering in children, or a decline in the quality of your vibrant neighborhoods. I personally don't think that. I think that everything needs to be regulated to some point so that it does not fall into the hands of children, absolutely. But is it linked to skyrocketing crime? I definitely don't think so. I think in these places like Cali, out here in Colorado, the fact that they are not prosecuting crimes when they occur is what leads to skyrocketing crime. The fact that there were all types of open borders, unvetted people coming in, or lots of different things lead to skyrocketing crime. Not the fact that people are recreationally smoking in their homes. Like, I'm about to blaze something up after the show, but am I going to go and commit a crime after that?
Brady
Sitting on the
Cobb,
front
the son
porch.
of one of Florida's most prolific pot smugglers of the 1980s, who started his own legal marijuana company called Sunburn Cannabis in 2021, calls the failure of Amendment 3 a big blow to the state's marijuana economy and the national momentum of legalization. Cobb, whose company generated $30 million in revenue this year from its 13 medical marijuana dispensaries.
Bro, $13 million. Is it $30 million? Guys, you cannot tell me that the cannabis industry is not booming. You cannot tell me that there's not potential in this, even if it's legalized at a federal level, for the government to tax it as they do with everything else and make money off of it. Like, there's too many benefits to it. You know, aside from the health benefits, the fact that people would not be put in jail for low-level petty offenses when they are literally legal in other states within the U.S. So in one state something is illegal, but in another states it's legal. I know that's how things go. I get it, but you can't tell me that there's not profit in this.
The company generated $30 million in revenue this year from its 13 medical marijuana dispensaries.
This company was set up in 2021, and it generated $13 million. 30, I keep saying 13, $30 million from its 13 dispensaries, and it was set up in 2021.
Says, quote,
Let that sink in.
Politically, it's a bad moment. This is going backwards. This is going to be very negative by the whole industry.
They siphon you
Penny,
all into
the
one
co-executive
location. What up,
director of
Sue?
the Coalition for Cannabis
Good to
Policy,
see you. Y'all know to go
Education,
check out
and
the Bud
Regulation,
Files every day.
says the failure of Amendment 3
Sue and the fan
will,
got something for
signal
you.
a slowdown in the momentum of legalization. She says, quote, "We will continue to see the illicit market control this space." Emily Paxia, the co-founder of San Francisco-based cannabis hedge fund